First rate's Nifty. It's a needle spike. It is a gap up start, a decent gap up start, let me put it this way. 93.41 for the Nifty. For the Sensex, it's a heartening print to start with. It's a print of about 0.25% again for the Sensex. BPCL as we speak has touched a record high, but the stock which I want to start with is Federal Bank. 111 rupees now for Federal Bank. IRB Infrastructure 272, up by about 5 rupees. GM Financials, they've come out with good set of numbers and the markets are reacting there. 5% up for GM Financials. Karnataka Bank has moved to 170. I'm simply picking up stocks not based on news but based on what my volume screen is telling me. ICICI Bank ahead of numbers, it's looking okay. And HFCs, housing finance companies, that was the real toast on toast of the town yesterday. Minor profit booking has kicked in. Indiabull Housing Finance, LIC Housing Finance, DHF Divan Housing Finance is still looking strong. It is at 450 now. Can you believe that? 2-3 years ago it was at 150 and now it's at 450. The most predictable business in India is the housing finance space, and suddenly that space is getting re-rated. I don't know why. Everyone knows that HFCs are great companies, but what is the sudden rush right now? I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost a case of basket buying really when it comes to HFCs of late. Also check in on what RBL is up to in trade and how the street has absorbed the numbers. So RBL is going to come up for you on your screens. That's down by about 1% as we speak. Not surprised with this kind of a market reaction. You've also got names like ICICI Bank and Divan Housing, which are going to be in focus ahead of their numbers today. So look out for that as well. And yeah, housing finance companies, they continue to hog the limelight. That was the case yesterday with Canfin Homes, LIC, L&T, Indiabulls Housing. They were all really at the top of the radar on everyone's mind, and that clearly seems to be the trend, at least today with Divan Housing for sure ahead of its numbers. DCB Bank and Federal Bank, they've really been on a tear of late in terms of a market move, and DCB today as well puts on another 1% after yesterday's 8% move on DCB futures. Federal Bank is the other one that I would just want to check in on. Yesterday as well, this was a smart performer, as was the case on Friday after its earnings. Federal Bank 113 is where the stock is right now. Maruti as well as HDFC, the two big movers from yesterday within the Nifty, they as well will come up on your screens. HDFC starts off a little quiet. Maruti starts off absolutely flat around the 6,700 mark. Bajaj Auto has come out with its monthly sales numbers for the month gone by, 3.29, so it's rather flattish as opposed to 3.3 which they clocked in the same month last year. That's where the April total sales for Bajaj Auto currently are. But let's also check in on what really is happening with the broader markets as well, and whether or not the outperformance of the mid-cap index continues. Sure enough, it does. About a 0.5% uptick across the mid as well as the small cap index space. So good going for the broader markets. That's one pocket which continues to hold out. Marico as well. That's another earnings reaction. Infratel, TVS Motors, Escorts as well as Gale. These are your big movers right now. On the flip side, it's Biocon, Bajaj Finserv, PVR, Mahindra Finance as well as TV18 Broadcast, which are the laggards.